you're in the ages right around puberty, like entering 12, 13, 14, 15, those ages are massive. A lot of different distractions will come along because by the time now, they know if you're going to be a pro footballer by the time you're 15. Like when you're 15 years old, they can tell if the skill set that you possess or the framework that you're working with, they can tell by a very young age if you're going to make it or not. If you're really serious about your career and you really want to become a pro footballer, I would strongly advise. Sounds cheesy or corny, but like honestly for me, to put it quite frank, it was stupid. It was my girlfriend was pretty much football. Like, it was like when you're a teenager, you fall into this phase where, you start finding girls interesting, you start finding a social life interesting, you're under a lot of stress in school, social pressure and everything, and I kid you not, like I never felt that. Never. I just
That's huge.
Going about my life with the ball in my foot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's huge. I mean I remember I always refer back to this quote by Sturridge. He said the most important ages for a footballer are between 14 and 18. Because like you said, that's when all the shiny stuff comes around. You start to get into girls, you start to see nice clothes, you start to go out to clubs, the drinking comes around.
That's right.
So like you did, if you can take that phase and make those phases a head down phase and you're just focused, no distractions, I think you're really advanced. Because talking from a personal perspective, that's kind of when I declined. I was one of the better players, in the state at 13, 14. And then all the shiny stuff came around and I started getting into that. Stopped playing the game for about 2 years, like competitively. And, I came back and, I was the middle of the pack, and I'm grateful for that because I probably wouldn't be where I'm at now doing what I'm doing without that, and I always say, the reason that I do these podcasts, the reason that I put out all these content is I want to be the mentor and the big brother that I never had because I'm an only child. I never had guidance and I wish I had people steering me the right way. So, you can see the contrast here and definitely go down this route and go down this road. Be in love with the game, be in love with the ball, because we were even talking before this. Women are beautiful, women are great, but they can be distracting, they can take you off your track. The better you are as a man and the better you are in your craft and the more dedicated and disciplined you are, the better quality of friends and women that you're going to meet eventually. So
that's right.
I think the goal is to focus on your craft and hone in on it, and the right people will be attracted to you.
That's right, I mean, I think essentially really, if there was like a piece of advice that I feel like would be really important is really down along the line what you were saying. If you're really serious about your career and you really want to become a pro footballer, I would strongly advise to listen to what Rick said. If you're in the ages like, right around puberty, like entering 12, 13, 14, 15, those ages are massive because like Rick just demonstrated, a lot of different distractions will come along. And if you're truly serious and you're dedicated and you overcome those distractions, by the time you're 16, 17, 18, and you've developed your skill set into a way that becomes lucrative to become a pro, because by the time now, in how the U.S. soccer scene and just world football scene in general is kind of like built, they know if you're going to be a pro footballer by the time you're 15. Like when you're 15 years old, they can tell if the skill set that you possess or the framework that you're working with, like, in terms of how tall you are, how big you are, whatever, just different metrics and different types of, things that they're evaluating that they can tell by a very young age if you're going to make it or not. And according to this, I guess, formula, or I guess these evaluations, I was outside of this box, like in terms of size, but I was all in terms of my characteristics, my dedication, in terms of how I guess disadvantaged I was, but how well I was working with what I had. Like people could just tell, like, this kid wants to play. Like he just doesn't care. He's not afraid to run past a guy that's 2 feet taller than him, or he's not afraid to go into a one-on-one. So yeah, I feel like really that's essential to what Eric was saying, was that if you can overcome those adversities by the time you're 12, 13, 14, 15, and you progress and you train hard, you will know if you're on the right path. And I think that's definitely something, a marker that will determine a lot about your career. Like Rick said, like he took a 2-year break, and maybe he didn't excel to the heights of where he could have if he would have continued and been dedicated. But also, to add on to that, like you said, you wouldn't be the man you are today.